and welcome to Afternoon Tea with Karen. We're going to continue on a bit with Moira and the Lost Boys and have a look at state Liberal Party leadership.
The Nazis turned up, Mr Pasuto was happy to let this slide.
We're not there to babysit the activities of every MP.
The vote on Miss Deeming's future will be held next week as the government fast-tracks changes to outlaw the Nazi salute in Victoria.
This is about making sure that we send a very, very clear message that hate speech will not be tolerated here in Victoria.
The Premier is calling out the evil views of neo-Nazis as pressure mounts on the government to strengthen the state's laws.
The hate group symbol is already banned, but Jewish leaders say the salute should also be illegal after violent protests at Parliament.
Leadership, John Pasuto will gamble his reputation fighting to expel a controversial MP from his Liberal Party room. Moira Deeming supported an anti-trans event attended by neo-Nazis in the heart of Melbourne. Mark Santomartino reports.
Together at Parliament, Moira Deeming and Kelly J. Keane.
What fabulous T-shirts he's wearing.
A Liberal MP with a women's rights campaigner who has peddled anti-trans views on the shows of white supremacists deemed too extreme for YouTube and now too extreme for the Liberal Party.
I would consider it a great failure of leadership if I didn't take this action.
Great failure of leadership might be to not know what's going on in the world around you. Might also be not doing your own research and relying on hearsay. Yeah.
After Saturday's Let Women Speak event,
we want the right to go to a toilet without a biological man coming in there.
Was hijacked by disgusting displays of the Nazi salute. Will not be.
In Victoria today, we saw drag queens entertaining kids with story time in the Victorian Parliament. For various reasons, trans activists are desperate to expose young children to men dressed as women as early as humanly possible, despite the fact that drag queens are mainly thought of as adult entertainment from the nightclub scene. But it wasn't just the Victorian Parliament who were again worshipping at the altar of trans activism. The Dan Andrews government announced $1.8 million for LGBTQ activists to deliver what they call inclusion training to organisations. What could that mean? Perhaps we can all look forward to compulsory pronoun declarations. The reality is that trans activists, far from being some downtrodden minority, are in fact disproportionately powerful, wielding enormous influence in the media, academia, and across public and private institutions. And today is IDAHOBIT, which stands for the International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia and Biphobia. And just about every government agency, public institution and private ones too, again, posted rainbow or trans flags, sometimes both. In Victoria, every single council flew the rainbow flag to mark the day, all 79 of them.
It's always mumsy. I don't see a lot of dads in the audience, do you? They must be at work.
Spring Street has hosted a drag queen storytime session for MPs inside Parliament House. The government says it was a symbolic stand after protests forced councils to abandon similar performances at local libraries.
Ministers and drag queens on the same page at Parliament House. The performers invited in for story time after protests forced councils to...
There's Sean in the middle. Sean.
Cancel their events.
This is a safe place.
The openly gay equality minister paid for the event herself and was visibly moved by stories about inclusivity on the International Day Against Homophobia.
Alex doesn't feel like just a boy or just a girl. They feel very uncomfortable being called he or she.
The Premier listening alongside staffers' children.
My shadow loves ponies and books and pink toys.
The opposition leader says he would have attended had he been invited.
I love everybody and this is everybody's house. Everybody should feel welcome in the Victorian Parliament.
A protest threat for the opposition leader says he would have attended had he been invited.
I love everybody and this is everybody's house. Everybody should feel welcome in the Victorian Parliament.
A
So considering you didn't know an awful lot about Kelly J. Keane and, didn't bother to check any of that, do you think this guy's looked into what queer theory's about? Do you reckon he knows what drag queen story time's about? About normalizing children to a range of different genders and diversity so that they'll eventually outnumber, what is it? The cis hetero people. Well, what is it? And heteronormal kippity. Do you reckon John's into that? Nah. And I'm sorry, if you're gonna be the leader of a political party, dude, yeah, sorry, you can't go back. The best thing you can do is apologise to Morradimi, get her back in, give her the shadow minister of education, and find a replacement. Right, let's start looking around. Who else is in the party?
We'd like to see the government go a little further. We can start talking about things like banning the Nazi salute, for example.
I don't think we want to get in a situation where we have to ban each and everything.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's half a brain. Yeah, so I use some of that, and I use a few of those things in there. Yeah, so basically they use Kelly J. Keane to add to their Nazi rhetoric about banning the salute, which they were in a rush to get through because the Nazis showed up on the steps of Parliament, and yep, then it just snowballed out of control. I didn't use anything in that one. It's nice and tidy. So anyway, see you later. Bye.